Hey everyone, Mark Hart here, and today we're going to talk about the difference between investing in a turnkey versus an apartment syndication. So here at MIP, we offer both for our investors, but each come with a select set of pros and cons. So we'll dive into the turnkey single family side first. The pros of that are you're the owner, so you've got ultimate control. So you get to decide on what repairs get made to the property. You get to decide on who's the property manager. Do you want to change property management companies? Do you want to self-manage? And then ultimately, you get to make the decision on what's the best exit strategy. When do you want to sell? Who do you want to sell to? That's your choice. Next, turnkey rental properties normally cash flow from immediately, day one. Every single one of our properties that was sold turnkey to investors in May and June of 2020 of this year already had a tenant either physically in place or lined up, currently moving, ready to go. So we knew what that rental amount was going to be, and we know when they're going to move in. And then finally, they traditionally have a higher total ROI. If you factor in appreciation, because last year we got a 5% appreciation in Memphis. But if you take a mortgage, assuming 20% down, the ROI on that 5% appreciation is more like 20 to 25%. So that's huge. The average appreciation in Memphis is 2.49% year over year for the last 30 years. So that's a much more conservative number to use, but the real data from our investors last year was 5%. Then the cons is going to be ultimately it's riskier because you have more exposure. This property, you have to purchase it in your personal name. So it is going to affect your credit. You're going to have more debt. Some people just don't like that. You have more obligations to pay. And then finally, you're going to get maxed out at the amount of conventional loans that you can actually acquire. So you can get 10 conventional loans per individual. So if your significant other also has an income, they should be able to get 10 loans as well. There are options beyond the conventional loan product that's out there. They just aren't as attractive. And so that's one of the reasons why folks like to move to apartment syndications. So the benefits of apartment syndications are that it's truly passive. It is virtually identical to picking a stock. You do your research day one on who's the best team with the best experience, and then ultimately you're going to analyze the investment itself. We're going to send you a 300-page private placement memorandum, operating agreement, and once you look through all of that, you sign, wire in your funds, and then you just get to sit back and collect your distributions and let someone else take over everything else from that point forward. So that is just a great benefit because it's also a good blend for your retirement funds. Maybe you want to use a self-directed IRA where you're not even supposed to have that much involvement anyways. It's just a perfect fit. Another benefit is that you actually have an additional asset protection and minimal risk. And that's because of the structure of the apartment syndication. At least that's how we structure them, to where you as the passive investor have less exposure. You also don't have to personally guarantee the loan. So it doesn't show up as additional debt on your credit report, which is great. So it doesn't go against your debt to income ratio. Our company, we have to actually personally guarantee this mortgage. So it's not our company that's guaranteeing it, it's ourselves personally. So that is a huge benefit for you. Then there's also less risk because there's just more units, economies of scale. If you have a few issues with some renters, well, that's okay. You've got 100 others that are doing well. The cons of investing in an apartment syndication are that you don't have control over the day-to-day operations. Some folks love that. Some folks don't like that. So that means that ultimately someone else is going to be setting the rents, performing the renovations, and figuring out when's a good time to sell the asset. Another con of investing in apartment syndication is going to be that a lot of the times the deals, at least that we do, are distressed assets, value adds. That's why we're able to offer such high projected returns. But that also means that in the beginning, they're cash flow negative. So on our first deal, our investors aren't expecting to have a distribution for about 2 years. So that can be a huge negative for some folks that want immediate cash flow day one. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you have any thoughts on the differences between investing in a turnkey real estate versus an apartment syndication. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you have a wonderful day.